Have you ever gazed up at the night sky and felt that eerie sense of being watched? What if I told you there's something up there, something that shouldn't exist, silently circling our planet, defying explanation? This is the mystery of the Black Knight satellite, an enigma that has haunted astronomers, conspiracy theorists, and curious minds for over a century. It's a story woven from strange radio signals, unexplained radar blips, and grainy photographs, one that blurs the line between science fiction and chilling possibility. The tale begins not in the space age, but in the late 19th century, with a man ahead of his time, Nikola Tesla. In 1899, while conducting experiments in Colorado Springs, Tesla intercepted bizarre, rhythmic radio signals. At first, he thought they might be natural atmospheric disturbances, but the patterns were too precise, too deliberate. He became convinced they were transmissions from an intelligent source, possibly extraterrestrial. Newspapers at the time dismissed his claims as fantasy, but Tesla wasn't the only one hearing things that shouldn't have been there. Decades later, in the 1920s and 30s, radio operators across the world reported strange echoes, delayed repetitions of their own broadcasts, as if something in the void was listening and repeating. Then came the 1950s, the dawn of the space race, and with it, the first concrete hints of something unnatural in orbit. In 1954, just 3 years before Sputnik became humanity's first artificial satellite, newspapers ran startling headlines. The US Air Force had detected two unknown objects circling Earth. Where had they come from? The Soviets denied responsibility, and the US had no secret satellites in polar orbit the path these objects were following. The scientific community was baffled. Some speculated they were remnants of a meteor, others whispered about classified military projects. But a darker theory emerged. What if these objects weren't human at all? The mystery deepened in 1960, when the US Navy's newly established space surveillance network locked onto an unidentified object in a near-polar orbit, an unusual trajectory for any known satellite. The military tracked it for weeks, calculating its speed and trajectory. It was large, dark, and unlike anything in their records. Officially, it was dismissed as space debris, possibly a piece of a broken satellite. But if that were true, why had no country claimed it? And why did its orbit suggest it had been there far longer than human spaceflight had existed? The name Black Knight began circulating among those who believed this was no ordinary piece of wreckage. Then came the photographs. In 1998, during the STS-88 space shuttle mission to the International Space Station, astronauts captured an image of a strange, tumbling object against the blackness of space. It was angular, asymmetrical, and undeniably artificial in appearance. When the photo was released, the internet erupted. This, believers declared, was the Black Knight, an ancient satellite of unknown origin. NASA's explanation: a lost thermal blanket from an earlier spacewalk. But to many, that explanation fell short. Thermal blankets don't maintain stable orbits for years. They don't reflect light the way this object did, and most importantly, they don't account for the decades of unexplained signals and radar contacts that came before. So what could the Black Knight really be? The theories are as varied as they are fascinating. Some propose it's a relic of an advanced prehistoric civilization, one that reached space long before recorded history. Ancient astronaut theorists point to myths of celestial chariots and sky gods, suggesting humanity may have been visited long ago. Others believe it's a probe sent by an extraterrestrial intelligence, silently observing our development like scientists watching an experiment. Then there's the more grounded, but no less intriguing, possibility that it's a fragment of some forgotten Cold War project, a piece of lost technology that slipped through the cracks of history. Yet, for all the speculation, the truth remains frustratingly out of reach. Modern astronomers argue that most Black Knight sightings can be explained as space debris, discarded rocket parts, or even optical illusions. They point out that Earth's orbit is cluttered with thousands of man-made objects, many of which behave in unpredictable ways. But this doesn't explain the early signals, the pre-Sputnik detections, or the lingering sense that some pieces of the puzzle are being ignored. Perhaps the most compelling question isn't what the Black Knight is, but why the idea of it captivates us so deeply. Maybe it's the thought that we're not the first to reach for the stars. Maybe it's the fear that something or someone has been watching us all along. Or maybe it's the simple, timeless human desire for mystery in an age where so much has been explained. Whatever the case, the Black Knight endures as a modern myth, a ghost story for the space age. It reminds us that the universe is vast, unknowable, and full of secrets. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember, there are still wonders lurking in the darkness, waiting to be discovered, or perhaps, waiting for us to finally notice them.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate the effort behind it, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, and one more thing, share this video with your friends. Spread the love and support. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let me know if you want any tweaks.